right, so the second one is it's going to be a fun one. It's our favorite gaming mascots. Now, I want to emphasize favorite. These are our personal favorites. So we're going to get the kind of most established, goes without saying mascots out of the way. So these are honorable mentions. First off, we got to mention Mario, the most iconic of all time. We got to mention Crash. We got to mention Spyro, and we got to mention Sonic. These are like the established properties.
Yeah.
That everybody knows are like amazing mascots that go without saying. But from there, now we're going to name our 3 favorite ones. So let's start with you. What are your 3 favorite mascots?
All right, so I try to go again. Obviously, if I were to go choices, Mario, Sonic, all those, and obviously Sonic. I'm a huge fan, but I wanted to go ones that I also really do enjoy and maybe people forgot about. So one I got that again, great icon. I don't know why he is stranded the way he is. I know he had a little game on Twitch. So Bomberman is a mascot that I don't know why. That's Hudson, right? I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know why they ignore him. You know, there was a couple years, especially on GameCube and like GBA era, where they were cranking out Bomberman games. Added some story modes. There was like a red and a blue version for like if you were playing as the Max Bomber and stuff like that. So I think he's just a really cool favorite mascot. I like the design. I was so excited for the split second when I saw him in Smash Ultimate, and then it was followed by that he was an assist, and it was immediately I was like depressed because I don't think he gets the respect he needs. They kind of crapped out that Bomberman R game, which
the Switch launch game.
Yeah, it was kind of bare bones. Not that it was bare bones really. They had some cool stuff in it, but the gameplay was kind of crappy and wasn't as solid as it needs to be. So that's one that I don't think gets much love and respect. Another one who fell from grace and then was able to come back a little bit thanks to Ubisoft, and that's Rayman. I think is just one that it's been quiet for a while. I know he got kind of ruined because of the
Rabbids.
The Rabbids thing. I know there was the Rayman Raving Rabbids, and there was the original Rayman 4, which was going to be much in line with Rayman 3, Hoodlum's Havoc, which he was going to fight against the Rabbids. Then it came to the mini game, and then we all know how it spiraled out of there. You know, the Rabbids were in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Smash Brothers type game on Wii. They didn't put Rayman in there. They put they put the Rabbids, and it was terrible.
They got a crossover with Mario before Rayman did.
Yeah, can you believe that?
That's crazy.
When I saw that crossover, for sure I was like, the Rabbids are going to be in Smash before Rayman, which was depressing. But because we all remember that Rayman leak, quote unquote, that was a hoax for Smash 4, which would have been great. But he's just one that I think he's really cool. You know, he was able to come back with Origins and Legacy, I think they were called, the platformers and stuff like that. And he's got a couple good ones that are pretty much ports of those on the iPhone. I think it's time we see another one like that. I don't know if they want to go with that same art style. It's been working with them. I don't think Rayman works anymore in that 3D era, because there was Rayman 2 and 3 were really the only 3D ones that just were kind of lackluster. 3 is a little bit better, but it's it's like Sonic, where in a sense it really deserves to be. It grew up on 2D platforming, and that's where I really think it works. And the last one obviously is a little bit more fanboyish, and that's actually Sackboy from Little Big Planet, Media Molecules, Sackboy, which I think was just a creative character, and I think I'm so attached to him, and he's such a favorite of mine because of what he represents. The era of the PS3 when it was really on a comeback with the creativity, all the levels, all the costumes that they were able to do. It's more of the representation that he has than it is just like his actual games, because his games are just Media Molecules play, create, share thing. So I think it's just more what he symbolizes. I do think he's got a cool design, that knit design. The first time I saw that knit design with that big old zipper, I thought it was just so creative but so simple at the same time. So what are some of your favorite mascots? Or your top 3, I mean.
Yeah, so one of mine were Sackboy, so I'm like, I need to pivot and get a new one. So I picked another one. So the first one I picked is I wouldn't even say it's probably the most iconic game mascot of all time. But because time has passed a lot and he's not as relevant maybe as he was one time. But if you talk to like the mainstream audience, they'd show him a lot of love. It's Pac-Man, period. The biggest, the most iconic, one of the oldest mascots in the game industry is Pac-Man. Now, he's not dropping annualized titles like he did at one point. So he's not necessarily in the talking point, but hey, he's in Smash. People show him a lot of love, and his games are fun. They stood the test of time. That kind of form factor of just his profile view. You drop that to anyone on the street, and they immediately, oh yeah, Pac-Man. Yeah. So the recognizability, iconic nature of it, you got to give him his credit. The second one I choose is a weird one, but if you don't remember, maybe 10 years ago or so, Sony started pushing a new kind of look in conjunction with Sackboy, a new mascot, and that was Sweet Tooth. Now, you remember Twisted Metal. You remember Sweet Tooth being in All-Stars Battle Royale, and there was a little moment where Sony was trying to push him as kind of the mascot. It was a really weird time, but I got to give my guy, Sweet Tooth, a little bit of credit. He was a fun character to play as in Battle Royale, even though that game was interesting, to say the least. And yeah, I like the Twisted Metal game, so I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. And then the last one, I wanted to show Xbox a little bit of love. And they don't have the most mascots to choose from, but I wanted to give a quick shout out to Master Chief. Okay. Another iconic mascot character. Now, a lot of people, when you say mascot, you immediately think of kind of like a smaller chibi type character. But hey, man, that's an iconic look. You drop that helmet anywhere. I mean, that's something people recognize. And I wanted to show Xbox a little bit of love because they try. They tried their hardest. And people have a lot of love for Master Chief. And it really means something when for like 10 years, 15 years straight, all people wanted to know was under that helmet. That means something. That means people really care about your characters.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you remember those days where everybody's like, well, how does he look?
Yeah, I remember when someone when cam breaking was, because Halo eventually did come to PC early on. I don't remember if it launched on the same time where the original Xbox had it. I remember
Combat Evolved
people,
going back.
Yeah, I remember when people broke cameras. This is when people first started modding stuff, and they were like I saw a video and they're like, what's under Master Chief's helmet? And there's nothing there, guys. If you look in the data of Halo, there's nothing under the mask. There was no face designed. He's literally.
I remember them doing something weird with Halo 3 too, where they like broke into his helmet and you saw like a big nose guy. Like they obviously did not intend for you to see that. Like it was not a normal face.
No, yeah, everyone, T-pose models. That's what usually under these things when you break camera and stuff like that. And we've gotten clips of what Master Chief looks like now, usually in the younger time and stuff like that, and like comics and stuff like that. We get what he looks like. But yeah, when you have such a mystified character, and Xbox knows it because there's all those Xbox Series breakdown videos, and on the chipsets, it's a Master Chief helmet there. It's not Blinks the cat, but it's Master Chief.
Bubsy.
Don't forget the Time Sweeper, man. So that is such an iconic one, and like you were saying with Pac-Man, like you said, anyone will recognize that. That's something that will never go away. In the day and age where everything's destroyed, people are going to remember Pac-Man. More or less, more people will recognize that than who Kratos is, if you want to look at it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
When you see all these movies that do these references and try to be, hip and stuff like that, they use Pac-Man. If you remember, Scott Pilgrim has that horrible pickup line about Pac-Man. It's just, he's so relevant and he's never going anywhere.
You remember the movie Pixels?
Yeah, on that poster, what's that big old pixel thing? Pac-Man, it's not.
I wish that movie didn't happen sometimes.
Oh, I refuse to see it. I haven't seen it with.
I watched like 25 minutes of it, and I was just like, I can't.
Peter Dinklage is in it, right? Isn't he in there?
He's in everything.
That's true. He was your ghost in Destiny at one point.
Yeah, and they just patched him out like that never happened.
Yeah, I did play Destiny, but so I like to refer to it as like I was original Dinklebot because I did play most of most of Destiny with him as my bot before. I think Nolan North does it now, or did it.
Yeah, I cannot believe though they just patched him out. It's one thing to add like a toggle option, like it's like, hey, if you didn't like his voice acting, you could download this patch and toggle it back to just erase him from existence is nuts to me.
So that was always a weird thing because they always claimed it's because they couldn't get him back for the DLC. And I'm like, wait, so instead of just going from the DLC forward and having, I don't know, your ghost smashed or get an upgrade, they were like, no, we're going to re-record it. So you had Nolan North go back, re-record all the lines. And
it was obvious because it was just terrible.
Yeah, he was just kind of, he wasn't as enthusiastic. Nolan North has, been doing it for way longer. Peter Dinklage is more of obviously a film actor than it is a voice actor. And it takes a little bit different to do it. Respect for both people who do, all the people who do that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't be able to do any of it, but it's different. So when you have a film actor come to read lines, he was so boring.
It sounded crazy. I've gone online and went onto YouTube just to listen to that voicing because I didn't play Destiny at launch. Yeah. And I get when you have like a perpetually online game like that that's going to theoretically last years, you don't want to just leave such poor voice acting there in perpetuity for all brand new players to have to experience. So I get why they'd, re-record that. But I just don't understand how that made that pass in the first place. I mean, it was just so obviously terrible. And shout out to Peter Dinklage. Like, I'm not going to necessarily crap on, like, anytime they get a non-voice actor to do voice acting in a thing. Because, hey, Kiefer Sutherland did a decent job as Snake. Even though, again, that's not David Hayter. That's not the iconic voice we did. But he did a decent job for an actor. So
yeah. His problem was just that everyone wanted David Hayter.
Yeah, it was more so of, who it wasn't rather than the fact that it was Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. So I can't crap on actors, stepping into the voice actor field, but jeez, man, sometimes I just remember these randomly things and I'm just like, what is the gaming industry sometimes?
Let me tell you, it's so interesting because there's things that happen here that only ever happen. People's names just getting ripped off of titles, people getting patched out of it. Remember that big, I don't know if it was Yakuza, where
the guy who did the crime
not even like in that crime like recent, he'd like done the crime years ago, so he was getting penalized in Japan, China, somewhere.
I forgot like a little drug charge or something like that.
Not only did they patch his voice, they patched his face.
In a game about mobsters. I don't understand.
That's my thing. They went and interviewed real criminals for GTA, and again, I know it's more of a culture thing. For GTA, they went and talked to these criminals and how they did certain things to get these aspects. In Japan, they patched a guy's face because I think I don't even think that he did cocaine. I think he mentioned that he did cocaine like 20 years ago or something like that.
Weird,
not that I condone.
And I know
any
their
sort
drug culture
use,
is different, but
come on.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I know their drug culture is way different out there, so I'm not gonna, hold them too bad to that. But it's like, come on, guys. Was anybody gonna really like? Okay, they leave him in the game theoretically after these charges come. Is anybody gonna be like, well, I'm not buying that game because he's in it? Like, it seems so dramatic.
Yeah.
It's not like he got like Me Too'd or something crazy like that where you don't want any association with him. A little drug charge is not gonna tank your game. But hey, that's the Japanese industry. I'll let them deal with their controversies the way they want to deal with it. But it seemed like an overreach to me.
Yeah, certain things they do. Imagine if like Activision went back and took Kevin Spacey out of Advanced Warfare.
Oh yeah, he was a prominent thing in it too.
He's the antagonist, and he's in there a lot.
Who knows? Maybe they would have if that came out right before Advanced Warfare came out. Who knows? Maybe they would have.
The graphics are really good in that game, so I don't imagine the amount of money they would have had to do to redo it.
Yeah, but they ain't no getting around being like, that's not him. It just looks like him. It's not a Beyond Two Souls situation. So.
Yeah, so